Good morning, sunshine.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm fine. Are you okay?
I'm tired this morning.
Right. That
I'm
was
sorry.
yesterday morning after the Lou Brown thing. After that.
Yes.
Oh my
So
gosh.
can I
Yeah.
go ahead?
I had not a coaching. I had a recruiting traction appointment after that.
Mhm.
After that. So I did not get off the phone until 10 to 11, I think.
Mhm.
Like, oh, and then I couldn't wind down. I just could not, you know what I mean? It took me forever. It takes me a long time to wind down if I interact too much with people. I need like peace and quiet and then can come down. So yeah.
That's me. I'm like, and it's not even because the RIA meeting was that robust last night. There's like 25 people there, and that was it. I was kind of like, it was a little shocking because their pre-COVID crowds were much higher,
Mhm.
but it was fine. It was a fine thing. But I wanted to ask you quickly about the Lou Brown stuff because
Yeah.
I need to finish I need to finish payment to him, as tragic as that is, and get into his stuff. You actively in there doing his stuff right now?
Nope,
No?
haven't been able to. You know who is Kay Peck is? Susan Murray, I'm not sure. Oh, I have a whole ton of little white storks walking across my
Oh.
the little ones. I don't know what they're called. Anyway, ibises, I think. Well, anyway, there's a whole ton of them. Anyway, Kay does. Laura is part of it also. Laura Diaz, she's part of them also. I think that I don't know where she is in the process though, but I know Kay's actively digging into it actively. Gilbert on the team does it also.
How does it translate over to the EXP space? Like if we work,
Beautifully.
so like those are like things that count towards our what am I trying to say? Oh my gosh, my brain is melting this morning.
So there's
Count
three free that you
towards our
get a year.
transactions.
There's 3 free that you get a year if they're your personal. So it depends upon how you're structuring the process. So if you're structuring it where you're actually buying it and it's yours, buying and yours, and then lease purchasing back to somebody else, it counts towards the buying portion of it counts towards your free that you have every year.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if that year is a calendar year or if that year is a fiscal year. I really don't know how they track it. I
Yeah.
would assume it would be fiscal because that makes sense, but there are things that they track that are calendar, which again, don't make
Okay.
any sense to me.
I'm looking at implementing his program as we get into the end of the year, and the first quarter of next year, because there's such a high need for affordable housing around here. It's ridiculous.
Oh, it's huge. And it's just going to get more and more and more. So matter of fact, I'm bringing on a guy on the team. He was in Lou Brown's group. He's signing up today. It was Eric Reisner, the guy that was from Seattle at one point and
Mm-hmm.
now is living in up in the Northeast someplace, somewhere up north. So he's coming on today and he does it and he's like, it's a perfect fit. It's really, really a perfect match.
Yeah, I
Not,
mean, it's
it doesn't
crazy.
fight it at all. It's a nice compliment. So
Yeah.
morning, Michael. You're on mute. How nice is that?
I figured you didn't have to see me all week. Why would you want to hear me?
I love harassing you. This is part of my fun. Here's why. When I was a teenager, harassed the crap out of all my friends, and it's just, I don't know. It was just who knows? Anyway, as an adult, I never could meet anybody that I could harass. They always got their feelings hurt. And I'm like, I'm not doing it to hurt your feelings. But then I met a girl named Terry Bartle when I worked for the government. And I used to sing Cruella de Vil, but I sang it to Terry Bartle. And I mean, we just went back and forth all the time. And she was the first person I found as an adult. And we were both around the age of 30 that we could do that back and forth. And we just had a blast. And I really learned at that point that you have to find the right person that will, get it and then play with you, because it's play for me. And I know it is for you too. You're my person. So
you think it's play. It's just that sarcastic remark, right?
Terry Bartle. Oh my God, it was so funny. So I'll start with this and then I'm going to dig into training today. But for pretty much 6 months, I think I harassed her because she was 6 months older than me. And I mean, I really, really, every single dig I possibly could do, we worked together. Our two desks faced each other. We worked in a small dispatch office, and it was constant for 6 months. And then one of us had a birthday. I don't remember which one. I think it was her. And I was like, see, you know, blah, I don't remember. Anyway, so she goes, when were you born? And I'm like, 5-4-6-3. And her birthday was towards the end of the year, hence the 6 months. And she suddenly did the math and realized she was 6 months younger than me. She's like, I can't believe you lied this whole entire time. Only I didn't lie. I seriously forgot how old I was for like 6 months, man. I was like, no. And I did, I'm like, oh, damn. I don't even know to this day if she believes me that, oh no, I lost a year of my life. I don't know where it went, but I lost it. So, all right, Brianna's coming on, but I'm going to share my screen and we're going to dig into some stuff. So, have you guys ever heard of or know of Occam's razor?
I heard of it, but I don't know what it is.
Okay, so does anyone know what a razor is? Well, besides like to shave my legs.
Right.
Okay, so a razor is a way of thinking, like a principle in your life. And the reason it's called a razor because it shaves away everything but the core part of the issue, and it's a very concise way of stating it. And I first ran across this concept. Well, I had it, but I first ran across the name and the label of it when I read a book called Ray Dalio's Principles. And Ray Dalio is this brilliant stockbroker, commodities exchange guy. I don't really know what he does, whatever, but he's a brilliant mind. And what he decided was that as he was building his company to this huge mega he has now, that it was just easier if he created a set of principles around which to make decisions for hiring people, for promoting, for things that he wanted to do or buy or whatever. He just set up a series of principles and he would kind of test them out until he'd honed it down. And then every time he had a decision, he would go to, how does this line up with my principles? A, B, C, D, bam, that was my decision that I made.
Mm-hmm.
And it just really helped him to be able to pivot, make quick decisions and decisions that lined up with who he was and what he wanted his business to do. So those are called razors. We probably have them. You probably have them too. I have them in I have the rule of 3. And the rule of 3 is if I hear an objection 3 times from 3 separate people, then it's me, not them. I need to come up with the way to handle that objection and ideally put it up front so that it never even comes up at that point. It just doesn't even exist because I've already dealt with it up front. I've laid the premise and then we just move forward. So that's my rule of 3. Another rule that I came up with as a team leader, can't care more about your job than you care about your job. And so I will care as much as you, but I will not care more. So does these things make sense? And do you guys have razors? And if you do, can you think of any that you have in your lives?
Only one I got's the one I shave with every day.
What's that? You waking up?
No, the one I got's one I shave with
Shave. I
every day.
think you said share. Okay. You're on mute if you are talking. We can't hear you, just heads up. So I don't know if you are now. So, okay, let's dig into this.
I just want to say something quickly.
Yeah.
Ray Dalio stuff is awesome. I have followed it for years. In addition to the 10 principles, he builds his whole business on radical transparency and radical questioning. So questioning from the top down, everyone can question everyone about what they're doing in this space and the business. It's a fantastic business model and those principles are awesome. I'm sure I have some razors. I can't think of them at the top of my head, but I found his work a few years ago and it's phenomenal.
It is too, and I completely concur with you. And I think I'm going to talk to Gary about it, reading the book, because it's what he does also. It's all questionable. It's all transparent. I think that it just clarifies it, what he does. But you're right. He's dead on. He's just really, really good. All right, so let's dig into some razors. So what I'm going to do, there's 10 of them here that I ran across. I thought this is brilliant. So I'm just going to read them. And then if you guys are like, oh, hang on, I do that one, or that sparks this, then we're just going to dig into it right then and there. So first one, I got to move y'all so I can see. Well, no, stop it. Feynman. If you can't explain a concept simply, then you don't actually understand it. So jargon can be used to fake a deep understanding. So if you can't simplify it down in really easy layman's terms, you don't really know it. Anything on that? All right. Apparently I got to keep on moving you all because now it's got me over here. Come on, I got to move you. Well, let's go this way. There we go. Hopefully if you guys stay over here, then I can read these. The luck
I
raiser.
want to say, actually, I want to say something to the first one.
Yeah, do it.
I stumble in that space sometimes because it's not that I don't understand it. It's I can't communicate it to you. I see it in pictures, if that makes sense. Like
Mhm.
I can see it in a mind map and I can tell you the answer or the results or,
Right.
you know, the basic premise as to why I landed where I did. I can't always explain it well,
Convey
if
it.
that makes sense.
It totally makes sense. Have you ever, I used to, when I was explaining stuff, I never used to go on attraction appointments without pen and paper because as something came up, I would draw things out all the time.
That's exactly what I did.
Not the stupid, oh my God, my OP would draw the circles that they use in, what is that big, huge Amway, the circles that they use in Amway. He would draw them out all the time. And I'm like, he's like, Gina, I want you to do it this way. I'm like, I'm not drawing your dumbass circles. I'm just not doing it. I'm going to explain things completely differently because this is how it makes sense to me. And then I've got to convey it to you. I do know with this, one of the things that I do, and I think it's from, I've taught, tutored, and trained ever since I was in 6th grade. I tutored all the way through high school and all that. And I love it. And I would explain something. And if the 2nd grader didn't get it, then I would explain it the different way. And if they didn't get it, I would explain it the different way. And I would keep on coming at it until I found I look at education like bricks that we stack up that we can walk on, not like a wall, like we can walk on these. And I got to find where your bricks are. And if I'm explaining from here up, because this is the only part of the concept that then your bricks are down here, I got to tweak it and tweak it and tweak it until I can get to your base of knowledge and start there. And then I can take it up to whatever the thing is. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I tell
do
my
that.
all the time. Yeah.
And sometimes I do like visuals of tracks on a lane, lanes on a track,
Mm-hmm.
or I do like I say a mind map, but like a grid that shows that when people are in this all or nothing space, like I can't do this unless I do this or this, this, and this. I just kind of try to show them you can do this, and like you don't have to have this one complete to have this one move forward because of all the moving parts in our process space as well with real estate. I kind of try to help them understand that it doesn't have to be a start, stop, start, stop, start, stop with everything, because at the end it all comes together. If
Right.
that makes sense, to help them understand the process.
Yep. Yep. Okay, luck raiser. When choosing a path, pick the one with the largest luck surface. The one with the most opportunity to get lucky is that maybe puts you in front of the best people of high wealth or the best people of incredible knowledge, or has the best opportunity to spin off into the most things, or whatever that is. That's the luck raiser. For me, I had 9 job offers. And as I was negotiating through those 9 job offers, we knew we wanted to be in California. I know that California does a lot of business. There's a lot of thinkers out there and a lot of opportunity. And so we threw away everything else that was not the Virginia offers, the Jersey offers, threw all those away and just focused on the California ones because I knew it would give me the best opportunities going the direction that I wanted to go. So that's the luck raiser. The arena raiser, put yourself in the arena. It's uncomfortable, but it's where you grow. You can't, and this one I love. Once you make it into the arena, only take advice from people in there with you. So if I'm in this arena and you're over here in that one and you're trying, okay, I see you nodding, Liz. Yeah.
Yep, that's so key.
Yep. You don't know, you're over there. You have no concept of how this thing works.
Or they're afraid to get in, but they're free to offer advice. It's like, okay, well, come on in. Let's talk.
Yep. But the people in this arena that are doing it, they understand it. They're in the arena. And the reverse is also true when when I wanted to, because I used to work on streamlining organizations and not headhunting. What's it called when they bring you in? You got to clean all the crap up and you got to fire a bunch of people. That kind of thing. I used to do that, and I start with the bottom and what's working, what's not working, what should we change, what should we never change, and all that, because they're in that arena. Like they know in that arena. So it's not necessarily upward. It can be looking at that ground roots level also. So, all right, to catch you up, Kay, we're talking about razors. Razors are ways that people, they're principles that they put around their decision-making processes. So we're talking about those and just 10 razors that I've come up with. All right, so let's go on to the next one, the optimist razor. Surround yourself with optimists, not pessimists. Pessimists point out everything that could go wrong. Optimists point out everything that could go right. So, and as we're going through these, if you have a situation that you're like, yes, that lines up with this, by all means share. Because I was like, yep, these are good. This is good principles, good ways to kind of guide your life. The rooms, don't be afraid to be the dumbest person in the room. Once you're there, listen more than you talk. In real estate, I used to want to be the biggest fish in the littlest pond. And that is specifically why I decided to go after 1-year-old expired deals and not the newly expired deals, because I knew that the newly expired deals, I was just one of 100 fish or 1,000 fish, or how many fish were going after the people as soon as it goes expired. But if I went 1-year-old, there would be nobody talking to those people. Like literally, I'd be the only fish in the room, pond. And I purposely did that. And then I realized that in my life, I spent most of my life making sure I was the big fish in the little pond. And it was a very conscious decision after I realized I was bumping up against the ceiling and I wasn't learning at the level I wanted to learn at and growing as fast as I wanted to grow, that I don't want to be. Even when I was in Virginia, I lived in Newport News. It's this big, you know, and the
Beautiful.
whole area.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it is. It is. The whole Tidal Hampton Roads area or whatever is very enclosed because of the oceans and everything else. Geographically, it's sort of its own little thing. So I was a big, huge fish in an area this big. Whoop-de-doo, you know, and that's part of also why I went to San Francisco, because that is definitely putting me in a little fish in a big, huge pond. So, and then shut up. Once you get in that room, shut up. Occam's razor. The reason why I found this whole entire thing, when trying to figure out an explanation for something, it's usually the simplest. It's almost always the simplest. Not always, but almost always. If there's a bunch of convoluted, crazy ass theories out there, and then there's a really simple one, it's probably the simple one. People aren't that intelligent, you know, to be doing all the convoluted stuff. The listen mode. When you engage with someone that has a different opinion than you, shut up and listen more than you speak. Don't go into a defense mode and immediately refute the perspective. You'll learn more that way. So do you guys have anybody in your life that thinks completely and utterly differently than you, that you have a great relationship with, and you can question and ask and learn, not necessarily to change why you think, although maybe that will happen, but really to understand and know how they think the way that they think and why. I have one. I have a person as night and day different than me. It's politically I mean, night and day, have a beautiful relationship with her. And we both just dig into it of like, what the hell do you think that way for? And then we have great conversations around it. And there's never blaming. I don't dislike, I love this person and she loves me. And we both know that we come from very different viewpoints, like night and day. We're not middle on any of it.
Yeah, I learned that with my wife. I just shut my mouth and let her tell me what to do.
My husband thinks very differently than me too.
Well, the funny thing is she's Democratic, I'm a Republican.
So you guys cancel each other out.
No, I just let her go on with her beliefs. I just don't interfere with them and do what the hell I want to do.
When you vote, you cancel each other out.
No, not always, because I'm not hardcore. I used to be a Democrat. I'm not a hardcore Republican. So I'm only voting for who I think the best candidate is. I don't care what ticks you off.
I don't really care either. I just want the person I think is going to be the most effective.
In fact, I think that's one of our problems is with that we have, Democrat, Republicans, different parties. I think it should just be an open blanket. So if there's 10 people running, you vote for the ones you want, and we get down to the 2 and you vote for the one you want.
I couldn't agree with you more, because then they're focusing on the issues and what they're bringing. They're focusing on the issues instead of the party positions and
Right,
having.
'cause
lived on top of this area.
a lot of times I see candidates get elected that aren't the best candidate because of some whatever reason. And again, I don't care what color, race, sex, or who you are, but I see things that are brought in because of certain area, the demographic, and that's what they bring in instead of, and I'm not against that, because I think we need the variety in here. I just think we've got a bunch of too many old white farts in there right now. But we just need to open this up. So instead of Democrats voting and Republicans voting, and you get a bad candidate on one side and a good on the other, well, you know who's going to win. So if you open that up, then the good candidate, I believe you would get a better selection of candidates. I don't know where you guys are, but here it's nothing but lies. They got one commercial, and I'm sure the guy's pretty good, but it's just a turnoff to me as a Republican. He's an ex-Marine and all this kind of thing. His commercial standing there in full
Regalia.
yeah, Brigaya, and he's got the gun and he's shooting, and it's
Oh
like,
my God, are you
yeah, and
kidding?
it's like,
I
really?
love Florida.
yeah, and it's like, really, that's just a turnoff to me, because all you're sending the message is, I'm gonna go up and shoot everybody up and we're gonna control everything. That's the message I get. Can't even tell you his name. That's as far as I get. But I
That's
just think,
exactly it.
yeah,
He's a
but
good man. Yeah.
You can't
and-
get past the, theatrics of most of
Right,
this.
right.
And get
So-
down to the nuts and bolts.
and believe it or not, I believe radio is a better type of information to receive, because you don't see the visual, you hear the tonality and the information.
I love that, because I used to always say, like, when videos first came out, I remember when videos first came out, Radio Killed the Video Stars, first one, I think, on MTV, and I hated it. And my friends are like, this is the coolest thing ever. And I'm like, this sucks. And they're like, why? And I'm like, because music has my memories attached to it. What I listen to brings up going to the fair and sitting on the hood of the car on a hot summer night, because you used to be able to sit on the hoods of cars and they didn't cave in. And I'm not sure that's just because of weight. I think that they were made better. And this boyfriend and this time and that thing, and, we skipped school and we did this or whatever. And then music became a cultivated memory of a video. And I'm like, no. So, hey, PF, to catch you up, what we're doing, we're going through razors. So ways to think, principles to live your life by. I found 10 of them. And so if one of these is something that sparks something in you that is like, oh yeah, I've experienced this, or I've lived this, or I know about this, or that's interesting, by all means, speak up. Okay. So
All right, thank you.
okay, you're welcome.
Yeah,
I just have to
checking
throw
out-
one, go ahead.
Go.
Oh, I was just trying to find the page that you were showing, the visual capitalist, but then I can only get to the main page. Sorry, Kat. Okay, go ahead.
I can send it out later. Because I know, because I sent the debris, so we'll go through it and I'll send it out later to you. Okay, Kay.
Well, I was just going to say, Lou Brown says that television is telling you what your vision should be instead of letting you have your own vision. And the more I think about that, and I look at what's on TV and the visuals that they're trying to put into our head about what's okay, I think he's right. They're programming us.
Did he show you guys, have you guys ever seen this? Lou, when I went to one of the Lou things, he showed, I think you were there, Liz. He showed us a video of maybe 50 different independent television stations across the US doing their independent local news, local television station news, not the national, local. And it was the exact same story verbatim. I mean, verbatim, clearly read off of a teleprompter, and it was local news. And it's so eye-opening. Do you remember that, Liz?
Yes.
I came home and I was like, I grabbed my husband like almost immediately. I'm like, watch this. It is so, I'll see if I can find that again and send that out to, hang on one second, sticky note heaven over here.
Yeah. It's
It-
frightening when you think about what they're really doing to our minds.
It really is. So television, all same to determiners plus website. All right, I'll make sure that those both up on the Facebook, on the YouTube page. By the way, do me a favor, y'all, when we're done, please. If you could go, I'll send out my YouTube link also. If you could like or subscribe, I think it is. I need 100 of those, and then I can name my page whatever I want to name my page. So
Okay.
if you guys could help me out, that'd be cool. Okay, cool beans, the lion raiser. If you're able to work like a lion, sprint when you're energized, rest when you're depleted, then repeat. Most people are not built to do long periods of tedious work. I just ran across this one a couple weeks ago. I was like, I need to get more stuff done. So I'm gonna set my alarm for crack o' dawn and get up early every day. I don't ever do that. This is not how I live my life. I get up when I am rested. I go to bed when I'm tired. I don't require very much sleep. And I always feel really, really good in the morning. And so if I get 4 hours or 6 hours or whatever, that's really all I need that day. I don't worry about it. But I decided a few weeks ago, I was going to set my alarm for 5:30 every day. Now, mind you, if you leave me alone, I will pretty much always get up somewhere between about 4:30 and 6:30. So right around 5:30 every day anyway. But that week that I set the alarm, nope, the alarm went off every morning and I woke up groggy as hell and it was really, really rough. And I did not get more stuff done. And I felt like I was dragging throughout the day because I didn't wake up from my natural circadian rhythm, which when I do that, I wake up, like my first cup of coffee is always decaf. My first, not my second and through the 10th cup, those are caffeine. But the first cup, because I don't need it in the morning. In the morning, I wake up and I'm like, doo-doo-doo, you know, and the rest of my house is just like, ugh. And I am so like, all ready to get going, you know, and where I've had to learn to tone down around because people do not feel that way. So I was not doing this. I was not doing my normal rhythm and it hurt me and my production went down and I did not feel good. So
You're
I
a
love
morning
it.
person.
I'm a morning person. I'm a morning and middle of the day. And at 2 o'clock, I hit a wall and I have to have caffeine at 2 o'clock. And maybe that wall will extend out to 4 or 5. If I don't hit it at 2, I'll hit it sometime right in that range. And then at the end of the day, I'm a flipping pumpkin. And when Gary does the meetings that are late at night and I have to be like alive, I'm like, so I am a total morning.
I haven't set an alarm in probably 35, 40 years.
See?
You just tell me when you want me up and I'll be up before that.
Yep. The
So
only
I-
time I struggle is I freak out before I have to, if I have to catch an early morning flight. I will
a
freak out and not
superpower.
sleep.
Yeah, I just
You
simply
guys
say
have
to
to-
I just simply say to myself what time I want to be up and I'll be up 10, 15 minutes before that, no matter whether it's 1 o'clock in the morning or 5 o'clock, whatever. Now I automatically wake up every morning between 4:30 to 6. Like
Right.
this morning, I
Wow.
woke up at 4:30 this morning, so I just laid there. Finally couldn't go to sleep, so I got up about 5:15, rinsed off in the shower, and then woke up, got dressed, got my coffee, sat down, watched the news, and then I wait for her to get up. When she gets up, I go to the gym.
So the first thing and only thing I really heard out of all of that is said it rinses off in the shower and you remind me of my son, use soap.
Well, I get up because I go to the gym every day and I hurt, so the hot, steamy shower helps relax your muscles. And then I also have allergies. We have a boxer that is older and he's shedding a lot, so it's affecting my allergies. So I need to get my sinuses back open to be able to breathe.
Yeah.
I love that you sacrifice yourself for the love of the dog. Yes.
No, not my dog.
Oh,
I
Love
put,
of the
I-
wife's dog. Good enough.
yeah, I had to put my dogs down.
I'm
oh,
sorry.
Well, they were 16 years old.
wow.
Had to put them down. So I said to her before that, I said, I'm not having any more animals. So when these are gone, but we still got 2 ferrets and a squirrel. The squirrel's supposed to live 20 years.
Oh my gosh,
Wow.
my husband wants a squirrel really bad. He's also allergic to everything, and he's constantly coming up with like I could get a squirrel. I'm like, how do you know you're not? He's allergic to everything, animal wise. I'm like, how do you know you're not allergic to squirrels? He's like, well, they didn't say so. I'm like, that's because they don't normally test for that crap. Stop it.
So just so you guys know, I just got a text message. I was with another company before I came here. So, and I can't tell you who this guy is. So apparently he called the old company and they nicely gave him my number. And so now he wants to talk about buying another property. So that's just doing a good job.
Yay. Nice. Congratulations.
Mhm.
Hanlon's razor. Don't assume someone's actions were malicious if there's a viable alternative explanation, whether it's fundamental beliefs, general incompetence, or simply ignorance. This one we definitely have conversations around our house on. Well, because if someone cuts you off in traffic does not necessarily make them an a-hole. Maybe they didn't see you. Maybe they are, you know what I mean? But maybe they didn't see you. Maybe they're old. Maybe they don't use blinkers. Maybe they don't, I don't know. Maybe Mercedes doesn't make blinkers. I have no idea, whatever. Maybe if there's no blinker fluid in the blinker, but it's not necessarily.
Blinker fluid. Okay.
Yeah,
In New
exactly.
England, they're called Massel, right, Liz?
That's right.
So my
my
husband sent me, go ahead, Michael.
my attitude on that is, and I learned this myself because just my own experiences, you never know what a day or an issue or a problem someone is. And I don't mean any disrespect to anybody. Don't take offense because, you know, I don't really care. I always joke, well, they didn't get laid the night before and they're not happy. But there's a reason that they're not happy, whatever it is. And I this more so comes into me calling because the people that are cussing me and threatening me and don't call me no more, they're not mad at me. They're mad at all the other 35 people and all the scamming that's going on, calling them and bothering them. So they're not mad at me. So I don't take offense to it. I just be very apologetic and polite. You cut me off, you know, I just back up. Now, if you're on my butt and you're trying to push me, I just slow down till you go around. But
I just
you
take my
know,
foot off the gas.
yeah, I know, well, you know, but the person that that's having the issues, it's not about you. You just happen to be the one they go off on.
Right.
So they're not mad at you, angry, hate you. You just are the one that they're venting on. And you can contest to this because you've seen me play people down off of that anger.
Mm-hmm.
And it's literally, I get it on the phone to call, you know, because yesterday was a really good day. I made about, I don't know, I was on the phone about an hour and 80 minutes, hour or hour and a half or something like that. An hour of that was on 3 different conversations. And 2 of them would not want to talk to me. They were angry. So as I kind of played, they came off their high horse and then anger because everybody was bugging them and talked to me. And I've got future follow-up calls with those 2.
Mm-hmm.
But it was because I was so nice and polite and caring and understanding. Not that I care, or, you know, but it was just a matter of understanding them. You know, they were mad. It's like, yeah, I understand. You know, everybody and his brother's calling. Just stop answering the phone. If they don't leave a message, don't call them back. That's simple. And giving a solution for their problem. So that person, I guess, long-winded of this, that person is not angry at you. They got their own issues. And
Mm-hmm.
you don't want to be involved in them.
Right. And the last one, the gratitude raiser. Don't hesitate to show gratitude to the people in your life who've supported you. Expressing gratitude will have a positive impact on your life. I know that in my personal life, if I am grateful for whatever is going on, it changes my mood. It lifts me up. It changes what my focus is on. Instead of focusing on this is going wrong and that's going wrong, which that's definitely a road that if I wanted to go down, I can completely go down and I can flood all kinds of crap. But I can also flood in gratitude. And I know when I go that direction, like my heart lifts, and I'm grateful, and I understand much more about the reason why I am where I am is because of other people, and because of people who have helped me along the way, or lifted me up along the way, or gave me advice, or just gave me a shoulder to listen to, or whatever opportunity, I don't know, something. And that makes me want to pour out to give to other people, and not just focus in on, grabbing because I'm in this crap place. I need to, fill a hole. So it's much better. I remember I was really, really depressed one time. I had had like 5 deaths in really close period of time, just a few months, just boom, 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 boom. My ex was pulling all kinds of stunts. We were losing the house. And I mean, it's just a lot. And I was really struggling. And I went to work, and a dear friend of mine at work, his whole entire house had burned down. And it was the first time, so I remember I'd been in this horrible depression for months. And all of a sudden it caused me to look up and be really grateful that I hadn't lost my house and my stuff. I hadn't had everything burned down around me. And the thing that actually got me out of that, the beginning of climbing up out of that hole, I had this statue that Otis loved. I mean, he just loved the dang thing. And every time he ever came over, he was like, oh my gosh, I love that ceramic, whatever the heck this thing was. I love that thing. And after his house burnt down, I grabbed it off. I remember the next day, I grabbed it off my mantle and I put it in a bag and I brought it into work. And I'm like, I know you don't have anything, and I know your life sucks right now, but I want this to go into your new place. And it was tiny. It was just a tiny, tiny, tiny gesture. But it was the very beginning of me stopping focusing on what was going on wrong in my life and to focus in on somebody else's. And I never forgot that, because there are times, like when I went through that period that was so rough and so awful, if anybody else told me bad news, it didn't make me feel bad. It actually made me feel better that, everybody has crap that happens to them in their lives at periods. Sometimes you're in a great spot and sometimes you're really, really not. And it was actually very helpful to hear about somebody else and whatever they were going through with their problems, their situation. It didn't bring me down. It actually lifted me up to know that there's other human beings and we all need to help each other. So that brings me around to one of my razors, which, now that I think about it, one of my razors is, everybody in life has like a knapsack that they carry around, and that knapsack has little tiny pebbles and it's filled with pebbles, and you got to carry it around. And those pebbles are like, you have to work in order to eat, and you've got to take care of your own stuff, and you can only focus in, you can't change anybody else, you can only change yourself, but you do have the power to change yourself, and you got to pick yourself up every single day, and you got to go to work, and you got to do whatever that looks like, and blah, blah, blah. That's just life. And those little tiny niggling things that happen, that's just life. It just is. You got to deal with it. But every once in a while, big, huge boulders might fall out of the sky. And that big, huge boulder is not because of your fault. It's just a big ass boulder that fell out of the sky and crushed your car, your house, your whatever. You broke your legs, you got into a car accident, you had this happen, you had that happen. Things that aren't your fault, they just happen. Those things were supposed to come along as a community and help. And it's okay to ask for help, and it's so okay to give those things for help. And then, Kay, there was one more that you taught me that if it's okay, can I share what you taught me?
Sure.
I loved this. When I am struggling with trying to figure out, do I help this person? Do I not help this person? And what I mean by that, is it their little boulder or is it the big, huge rock? And is it their own little tiny, not little boulders, is their own little tiny pebbles? Because their own little tiny pebbles, they need to work on themselves. And then Kate taught me this because we were having this great conversation. She said, all you ever do is the next right step. That's it. Just figure out what the next right step is and go do that. And then you can sit back and you can kind of watch. Was it the right step? Was it not the right step? And then the next time something comes up, go do the next right step. And it gave me peace and assurance when I don't know if I'm doing the right thing or not. I just sit down and think about it. And I'm like, I think this is the next right step. Might not be, I might be completely butchering it, but it gave me a nice razor to add into my tool belt of razors of, I'm just going to go do the next right thing. And I'm not going to worry about if it's wrong or not. I can watch and see the outcome. And then the next step, I'll just go do the next right thing again. So it was so helpful, Kay. And I've taught so many other people that. It really impacted my life profoundly. So thank you for that. All right, you guys, anything else, or does anybody have anything that they want to close it and bring us home with?
Does anybody know how to download a campaign so I can redo the campaign on Word or my programs without having to go on to KV Core and then upload it again?
So you want to take a campaign and you want to tweak it to make it yours.
Yeah, but I don't want to stay on the online. I want to take it on my computer, so if I got Word or stuff, I can do other things and I can enhance the documents or whatever colors and things you can do there, and then be able to upload it back in. Is there a way to do that?
I just save it either to a Word document or to a PowerPoint and save it then on my computer on my desktop in a new file. And then I go back into that file and edit it. And then
Okay,
it's
so
on my desktop and I have it.
And I understand that, but how do you get it out of KV Core onto your desktop?
Oh, out of
Yeah.
KV Core. I don't know.
Here's
What
what
I'm
I-
doing is I'm taking the buyer's campaign that you nurture, and there's things in there I don't like because I've been sending it to me, and there's things I don't like and things I want to add. So I want to pull it out of there so I can work on the wording and stuff and then put it back in instead of having to sit there on the computer doing it in KV Core. That makes
So what
sense?
I would do in that is, Gary obviously had the whole entire thing from his original and dumped it into KV Core. So they
Right.
must have that original that they dumped into KV Core someplace. So I would toss an email or a short call with Gary. Paul is the person on their team that does that, but, and then Bev kind of oversees everything. So I would have a short text call or something with Gary to go, this is what I'm looking for, the source that you uploaded in the computer. Do I send something? Can Bev send it to me? Can Paul send it to me? What are their email addresses? Where do I get it? But I would
Yeah.
go to that source because they took it from someplace.
And I'm just trying to pull it out of KV Core.
Yep. Yep,
Okay.
but they have something that they loaded up into KV Core, and whatever that is, that's all the source material. And you just need access to that source material because then you'll have it all. And then you
Yeah,
can
but
tweak
then-
whatever you want to.
Some of the campaigns I want to work on are part of KV Core, not ours.
Oh, I don't have answers for that then.
Like KV Core has a buyer's nurture for a year,
Uh-huh.
and I like that. It just sends a little something along the way, videos and things. But I don't like everything that's in there. A couple of videos that are in there, I want to change. I want to do my own video and stick in place of it. Kind of stuff like that. But I
So
want
I'm sorry.
I want to alter, I basically, and I know the video stuff got to be done in KV Core, but I want to do, all the graphics and everything on my computer.
So maybe Mona Carta might be a good resource for you then. She's on
Who's she?
Facebook. Mona, Mona Carta, Karda, I think it is. She's on Facebook and she does KV Core every single week, but she's like a KV Core queen. She's in our Greater Honey Badgers line. She's not on our team, but she's a huge resource. And every time I talk to her, which is every Monday, she's like, point people my direction. It's an open class that she does on Tuesdays. And she's like, I will help anybody do anything. I know this thing inside, outside, upside down. So
And
that might be a good resource for the stuff that's not team stuff.
Mona what?
Carta, Karda. Long dark hair, real pretty.
I'll look her up.
Cool beans. PF, thank you for that slide on the chat. Super appreciate it. And then I'll get the television thing and I'll find that and I'll put that with this because that thing blew my brains wide open. All right, you all.
Thank you.
Yes.
No, I'm saying thank you.
Oh, no, thank you. All right, y'all. Have an amazing weekend. And I will see you guys. If I don't see you before, I will see you Monday night.
See you when you see
Thank
me.
you.
Yes,
Bye-bye.
Thank
bye,
you
y'all.
all very much. Have a good weekend.
Okay, bye.